United Television eso adishima ye mamu nyina aha eyo memu ne amano ne nsem ne bre aso yeso ne so ne aboabo no die e de beso mu se kase this way chocolate drink koko papa pa na ye de aye na de ohia nso eye enso hie Afia special ice ensuo e wodwa so ene wo special drinks ebo ye nchidom best point savings and loans any best assurance any enyumefu a ekita yemu na ye de ensemi any agoprama so de be pimu so don hwe bako entem e wokase emom ensem a ye de ebe de wo ba betie no ebi enie sikasem so afo e de ato dwa se Ghana COVID-19 12 billion Ghana cedis and ye de ebo ho bra wo de enchechemu ato Ghana emrashebedwa no enim Edom kuma ewo mrashebedwam so e kire se COVID-19 sikai a aban ese eno and wo de ebo ho bra no ebehia se ebenya ad hoc committee a ombetena se wo yesika no emu enhyehyemu na sikasem so afo nsem ya okodina Ghana mrashebedwam eka ye efa covid eni ehu sika ensem emoi ana mrashebedwani odwabo so abatom pesia so se sikasem so afo ka figa we wo ha okodanim kakra na figa na sesa enhyeda enko emum enchemu bi wo ha na daroma onsan emrebi ensem pi eka we hu ye de bema mo ewokase emu channel 360 DSTV hweyen na edikase no echi obahima Afia kire Asiedu me na mekenkan ensem no edi amamo yentie kase no enhyemu Aswafo we sikasam ntutu yeso eye onabo kenoforiata na odi atu dwa se wohwe COVID-19 a eyi ni ti ewo meimu na Ghana yetumi nya sika bese 19 billion Ghana cedis nanso ekwawi ase no emu bese 12 billion na aban no edi absoso yare na ano abo ehu evra.
That on 30th March 2020 I made a statement to Parliament on the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy of Ghana, following which the implementation of the coronavirus alleviation program commenced. Furthermore, during the presentation of the 2020 mid-year fiscal policy, I indicated that the supplementary request included a program funding of 19.3 billion from various funding sources to support the budget both directly and indirectly. On the expenditure side, an amount of 11.16 billion was programmed for COVID-19 related expenses, detailed attached as Appendix 1. Mr. Speaker, to mitigate the impact of the pandemic on businesses and households, ensure that economic activities recover and minimize job losses, government mobilized 18.19 billion out of the program 19.3 billion in 2020 from various funding sources as shown in Table 1 to support the budget.
Mr. Speaker, he says here that Agenda 111, January to December 2020, provision of health infrastructure, Agenda 111, district and regional hospital, 600 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, my question is, you spent 600 million for Ghana cedis for Agenda 111. Noble idea. But have they used the money? And at what time? I know the president cut the sword for Agenda 111 in 2021. But this money was spent in 2020. So, Speaker, I think it is fair for me to ask this question. So, Speaker, on that basis, Mr. Speaker, I call on you, Mr. Speaker, to invoke Article 103 of the Constitution. To invoke Article 103 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, that says the Parliament shall appoint standing committees or any other committee as may be necessary for the effective discharge of its function. So, Speaker, we cannot sit here and say that the Minister of Finance should be the only one accounting for the COVID amount. The Speaker, responsible for finance, is only a conduit of releasing the money. But the monies were spent at the various MDAs. The monies were spent at various MDAs. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I call on you, Mr. Speaker, to set up an ad hoc committee so that we can bring the various heads of the MDAs, in particular, that spent the money, to account for this in detail.
It is heartwarming that this matter is being settled today, once and for all, and that a call for an ad hoc committee is an afterthought. To the extent that the minister has spent time to give us a detailed expenditure, it is really uncalled for to waste the time of the Ghanaian At the end of the day, the Auditor General will come back to this country with his report. And that committee is chaired by the Deputy Minority Leader, who is very knowledgeable in that space. Use your intellect to criticize the Auditor General's report and the report from the MMDAs, and we'll come and answer. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
At the end of the day, the comments of members are calling for, some members are calling for the House to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate and inquire into this matter. So the directive is for the Committee on Finance, supported by the Committee on Health, to investigate and inquire further into the application and utilization of all the revenues received, referred to as COVID-19 funds, and to report to the House. The timelines, because we are going on recess, and in view of the agenda of the rest of the meeting, I will want the report to be presented by the first month of our next meeting. First month of the next meeting will be in October, because by the 27th of this month, the House will be on recess. And the committee will need more than just these few weeks to do the work. So you have ample time to do your work, and please submit to us a very comprehensive report to settle this matter once and for all.
Penyina oda edom kunuma ano e omrahye bedwem no Buhari na Idrisu se animanim ya e wo se yete committee na sa COVID sika no woye emu enhihwemu.
Mr. Speaker, page 4, the minister accounts for 19.3 billion 600 as program support received. Then, Mr. Speaker, when you come to expenditure on COVID-19, status update on COVID-19 expenditure, page 6, he accounts for 12 billion. Then the president accounts for 17.7 billion. So the House people will say, couldn't ayabachi, couldn't to which, where is the missing money? 17.7 billion against 12 billion, against 19 billion, against 12 billion. Where is the money? So this makes our case compelling for a probe and an investigation. Mr. Speaker, it is not for the Ministry of Finance to follow them on the path of their expenditures. That indeed is reserved to us in Parliament, the various committees, to do that. So when you summon the Minister of Parliament to come and make a statement on expenditures given to the various bodies, as I said, including Parliament, in my considered opinion, it's a bit misplaced. The Speaker says so because Parliament was given resources to deal with COVID. So Parliament itself did that. Have we submitted any expenditures to the minister for him to respond to Parliament? So you see what you are doing. It's completely misplaced. Mr. Speaker, we have committees in this House. And the committees, as provided for in Article 103.3 says, committees of Parliament, the committee that we have established, the committees of Parliament shall be charged with such functions, including the investigation and inquiry into the activities and administration of ministries and departments as Parliament may determine. Mr. Speaker, we have the various sector committees, and I keep talking to this matter every time in this House.
Joabosum Rashebedweni a oye ranking member ewo Committee on Health ewo Rashebedwem honorable Kwabena Minta Kando ose no kwasam ne se wo hwe ebre sika sem so afo kasa na wo bu nkonta e de afa covid sika ho na oka figure we bam okọ nanim kakra no aka foforo sadi NCC so no ose eyade a ha adwen pa.
This statement is a very reason why a bipartisan committee must be constituted to probe the entire expenditure on COVID-19. Mr. Speaker, I will point to few inaccuracies in the statement presented by the minister responsible for finance. Mr. Speaker, that must not be entertained on this floor. Mr. Speaker, may I refer you to the State of the Nation address, and that is on page 5. Page 5. Mr. Speaker, the very first line. In all data from the Ministry of Finance tells us that an amount of 17.7 billion, which is 4.6% of the GDP, has been spent, not mobilized. Mr. Speaker, there's a clear difference between what has been mobilized and what has been spent. Why do you do this to Parliament? Mr. Speaker, between him and the president, who is telling us the truth. Mr. Speaker, again, Mr. Speaker, if you check, Mr. Speaker, if you check the statement that has been given to us, especially table, Mr. Speaker, especially Appendix 1, status of utilization of 2022 COVID-19 budget. Mr. Speaker, this statement tells us, Mr. Speaker, that an amount of 600 million Ghana cedis was released with respect to Agenda 111. As of 2020, Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, Agenda 111 was actually commissioned, the sword was cut on the 17th of August 2021. Mr. Speaker, meanwhile, that money was released as far back as 2020, which is clearly captured here. What was that money used for? Mr. Speaker, these are all issues that we demand answers.
Mr. Speaker, if they had read paragraph 6 of the minister's statement, they would have realized that the minister said, yes, the total inflow for 2020 was 19.3 billion. And out of that, they used some to directly fund COVID-19 expenditures, and others were indirectly. I also want to go to page 7, paragraph 19. And it was quoted that the president said they had spent 8.1 billion on COVID-19 fund. When you come to page 6, clearly it is correct. You see it here that what we utilize, what we spent, what we utilize is actually 8.1 billion. So clearly, today the minister has put to rest the inconsistencies being said by our minority brothers and sisters. And today it is very clear that we have been consistent. Yes, it was 19.3 billion that came in. We have been able to account for the 19.3 billion. 8.1 billion was used directly for COVID-19 expenditure, and the difference was used to shore up the revenue numbers that dropped. Again, when you go to 2021, we put in the budget an expenditure of 4.6 billion for direct COVID-19 expenditures. And clearly, we've been able to account for the 3.9 billion that we utilized. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't see the need why our colleagues on the other side are asking for a special audit in this. Clearly, the Auditor General at the end of the day will also look into this. This is what we have, and this is what I believe the Auditor General is also going to look at.
Afisem so afo honorable Ambrose Derry e de ato aprosifo ene bambo nyumako ni nyina enim se wo masodie kase pa edimu ene se obehwe na wo bo omanfo enkwa ho ban enti wonye na ganafo enyagidie e wo mu.
They are assembling 2 helicopters, reconnaissance helicopters for police in Ghana. When it's completed, we're going to be able to fly over incidents and also give us that cover. In Kranza, so yes, we need to give you equipment. Some of your guns are not working. I don't know what happens when you fire and it doesn't fire. Huh? You know what that means? We are going to continue to work on that. And yes, some of you have done galamsey and you've got qualifications. And every government just closes its eyes. Somebody has masters. You don't mind. We said no. We would have to deal with it. And so we said, today, we want you to be quality. And that's not all. We are developing the police along similar lines with the military. Now, UCC is collaborating with our police depot. We want to be sure that when you are in police service and you serve for 4 years or 5 years and you are interested, you should be able to go to the police college to do a diploma, to do a degree, so that you don't have to do galamsey. We are prepared to do all these things for the police.
Galamsey has brought about robbery. Galamsey has brought about chieftaincy dispute. So police have to go around containing the crowd that will mill around a chieftaincy and all those things. But we are doing our best to keep all these things at bay. Robbery, we are escorting buses from Accra, from Western North to Ashanti through Accra, and then we also escort them back. There's a lot of poor network. And I'll plead with the Honorable Minister, when we are going to Dadieso, you should try and then make a lot of calls to see how challenging it becomes. Police stations are not also very close. We have just a few of them in the Western North. In the Western North capital itself, compared to Kumasi, Kumasi has over 20 police stations. But Western North here, we only have just one police station as Asiedu also, and the rest is nothing to write home about.
Yeko Serio so na amani boy feel eto dwa se transformer je se ebua ema enkania ekokro no so no manfo nya bi eye adwuma no akromfo so omakotwetwa wo omawie ni nyina adan a ompeso obi operation bi oho na tibongo ma hai
ya mini aba me joso
fade aka nyina mai
jo mini aba so ne wadi kan etwa for ni sa pepepe and the chair eye enrechi edwadai ebe na abonmienu ana light of kese panel total blackout etimi abai ewosari asafo no ewosari oso mansimu na anu na reach kwachi ndimu a timamufoni bi egbanyini etogogo se transformer ECG ade ababesi asafo ete so hwe babi omode besi nipa esuma mode kobeye ahanu etan se ehonum bia afero masasia omusi adan foforo sebe krono betimi atre na abai da anu na ECG for ade transformer yi akoma sa timamufo se ebetumi aboa ma wona asisi wa dan bebrebe na amakrono atumi ayekese abai atre awa na ano na de chi animu a akrofoteti omu atesa omu de omu sori enferere anaju no ebe na bono mienu atumi ababetu transformer etese enye transformer ketwa ohwe de kese a 2000 kVA na so yimu ayade a eso yie papa omotumi atu transformer no ede kono omutu ya anya de omodi transformer no kuntusi nya koyo omotra transformer na sewonum ebie so na so hwemu a enyuma hia fata ede makofo no ewo transformer no mu a etese no koparo enu ni ade ehia omu a omotri bie transformer no so nya tumi yi sa no ma nya no ede ekoye na enu na tuma foro ko no so ye na ti asemuni se konfo pa bla ti so betimi abetu 2 meters anaso betimi tu transformer dia to fom abie so ayi mu kopa ehia agbagoto adidie dokwanya bianim dia emu papa na anu na onabo asememe bono patemonom onabo Robert Ayabua wono so tese dokwanya bianim ni omo adwuro mu na tanyame ya atom na komosa so sa akrofo mu a akometwa machinam ede atomo instant justice pa ana komodi bekura ede atomo sense kono bewia na fei transformer kesia ebo kono ban na normal life atimi adomu sirei na what you so afele ni what you so kwade akomode mrano ebe so bose na so prepare no kasa konfo amabetu sa mita no enya amabetu sa ta so anya dia amota atimi akomo na enam so ema essential for the medically ebe piemu ewo yisi na so ya ewo sa wi so any engineer Martin Kofitan edi komo ebi so mate se akonfo agoko wi transformer kese no so bo mi na ya se na asam no kwaro ayade ayemu wanwa Ese o hwe transformer na ne buo no esom. 50,000. 50,000. What the baby yenye ho adwuma yi na ne besi be ye 50,000 Ghana cedi. Ana kwafoi atumi atukoto omode asoboni na anasensem na kwakodo mo mpanyifo a mo twen de mo mpanyifo be kan tim prepare de okosa wiasafo a bia bi ti say new town o ma say mo si dan e bi ka nursing training na so wo se wiasafo no ayade o bende esumu a kofem say mpanyifo bi ebetumi ade transformer bi dia ba nya sadia and the total blackout and simamufo mo wo se wiasafo metre bia o ma say o mo tre korum ekono aye nursing training na so account no ombede esumu a ofem se epeyfo betimi aboa na omode transformer bi aba problem no kase de akromfo a omkotu sa transformer no enya ade a yetimi ahu wono mu a akokoi wo haw edematimo fo a omoso ewo sewi asafo
na tibongo ebe ma mo eni ejima o Wei eye ya mani bofo na tibongo na de ensemi efisa wiyo ema yen na yesa ko osoafo ha efisa mu nsem eso honorable Andrews Derry na kachi ni nyina ene se wa bie residential accommodation bia no eye dan ode ma Ghana Immigration Service for a omo Western North se de be a ebeboa wom ewo dwumadi emo
is the 11th of such partnership between the State Housing Corporation Company HC and the Ghana Immigration Service, and it is a testament of the government of His Excellency Nana for this commitment to retooling and revamping the security services. Let me first of all thank the Honorable Regional Minister, the Omani and the MCE for supporting Ghana Immigration Service in acquiring the land for the project and also ensuring the successful completion of the project. Again, 6 additional regions, of which Western North is one. This action was initiated to open up the country for development. It is important to inform you that government is poised to improve the infrastructure needs of all the 6 newly created regions, including, of course, Western North.
I would like to say that it is a dream that has come true due to the way we are using our resources. I've been cutting frivolous, vexatious expenditure at the headquarters, and I believe officers will now appreciate that the strategy has worked. It is my hope that our officers who are going to occupy these bungalows will make sure that they are in the state that was handed over to them. I've spoken with the regional commander that the Controller General may pay a surprise visit. And I will come here myself to do an inspection. And I hope the regional commander has taken due notice of this directive. I cannot live here without saying and thanking our government through our Minister for the Interior and Minister of Finance, because all these things that you are seeing, it is through their hard work, pushing for money for this edifice to be built.
It's unbelievable that State Housing is actually on its feet, building beautiful houses. Well, I'd like to thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for believing in us and working with us. We are actually, ready to build all the houses in the regions you're actually looking for. Thank you so, so much.
It hasn't been easy, but we've proven that we can work to provide basic solutions such as this for our people. I am encouraged by the assurances I've gotten from the State Housing Corporation about their intent to scale up what it is we are witnessing. That, for me, is the invitation to all service personnel across the country to accept graciously a posting to the Western North region, for we are ever ready to commit to make your stay here a memorable one and one that is full of comfort.
Yako Aduato ewa Sante Mante Mukumase Na Electricity Company of Ghana omo site bi o ha e ho no mo cables ni chese mfidie dodo na ewo osuafo hwe nsuo ne hundie hu nsam so e chese nyema bi koso na ni nye ho na honorable Sisili Abnadapa e kasa no e no so manfo bi pese ho nso nsase no omokofum efa ntimpanyifo emrem
Robenya enyinamahoode ennamu ye namfoma ekokoto owabe dam no emu no sese enipa bi ni ye ne adinti ama eho abeda ho na no na ensem ni beto odwa ni namframa mu no agina so ema osuafo a wo hwe ensuansuwa ene ahonidi ensem so honorable Cecilia Abnadapa akọ apro ewo mpotamu ho no makohwe senia esi etie poten na ebra osuafo ekodu ho no no ene ohun se robe no senia sitie ne ya hwe ya enchekora ahoden eni nsuo yes so manfo we kumase enya no yenya na no na agina so ema wode atodwa se nimu animu ya esese etumi tu ho anamo se ne ebe ya yebebo ho ban yentimi ntena ho manipa baako ene ye bone a wo yenti no yenya nsuo esase nyina mo nkane ano a ene ede air pump nsuo ede ama manfo ne senti obi a wafa kwati kwan so fa nsase wo hono mo ye adwuma wo so a enu nti ama sa adrobe ne ho abeda hono mo no animu animu ya esese yehwe na yesi ano ekwan
kan wo ko wakrata mu se enche bia Ashanti region ha ensuo ne enyinam kane a yenya bi fi se obi aba waba encroach na se oba be tena asase a mfidie guso a di yedwuma na wo se me ya me de mani ko twa mansa e ba behwe se ya mpa na story ne ya mpa no kore so mo amohu se ya mpa me ministry no sebe aban nyina ye ntena se e manua mu and guye so ansa na ye take action ye proactive me Abnadapa anko ntumi nkasa ma befa ha na kumasi nyansuo ye musuo ECG nhumai setete a ye nya bi empompo ye nsuo ya na nipa ne pinim electricity ko offer affect ye nso ye plants fi se plants na ntumi nyusu generators esoso engineers be kan kiro eti yusu ECG my special power de pampo ensuo no eti ECG ho ka na enso ye den ye ho aka eti na ye baaye se ba behwe de all this adwuma no ECG onya na ECG emfa asase no wo mo dia na wo mo fan di dwuma ma ye nyina na ye enso enya cables a ebe ma ye power na apampe ensuo sabio yes book no lie etu do papers we say your there for papers brand na be kire say am powder.
General Manager Ma Network Project of Electricity of Ghana Engineer Frederick Kwabena Bediakon Ekasaye.
We are committed to giving reliable source of supply to Ashanti Mine and the local people within Adwato and the Owabe water supply. That is the reason why we are taking these steps. And these are underground cables that would require some level of time for us to be able to repair in the event of any puncture. Activities such as this would endanger the supply that we have within the enclave that we are talking about. And we all know that water supply is a national security issue. So we are taking steps, and that is why we brought the RECSEC here for us to be able to, first and foremost, give them a first-hand idea of what is happening and then the possible effect of any level of encroachment that is happening there.
Director General da Ghana Health Service ano Dr. Patrick Umabwaje na de all kinds on ne mpanyimfo no adwuma wo mo ye ne bi wo a na hyehyehe emergency jaso na wo sesa anyarewa no mo hwe eso ano emu bi monkeypox na COVID-19 ene afofo bebre.
Monkeypox as was reported in Ghana, we've had about 72 suspected cases so far, and we have investigated in Ghana. Among these, 18 so far has tested positive, and the last case was on the 14th of June. That's when the lab report came out. So I want to say that maybe the last case was ever found was about a week ago. We are dealing with a multiple public health emergency currently. That's COVID-19 and monkeypox. They are experiencing an increasing number of cases of COVID-19 across the country and virtually all regions. It started from Greater Accra now, and we are picking cases in the region, so there's a need to quickly stamp our authority and make sure we are able to keep it down. The COVID protocol adherence is still low, and we need to work on them. vaccine uptake has improved, but it's not the way we want it. We want to make it faster because they are available. And there's an increased risk for a major wave of COVID-19 vaccines if current trends continues, and that is if we also don't change our attitude to the protocols. So mask wearing is recommended in all enclosed spaces, and wherever, like I said last week, you feel threatened in enclosed places, too many people around you, please wear your mask. And if you all wear a mask, we really keep vaccine the COVID away. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
For hidie manhene Asiedu ja bema Apiedwa boafo a otoso emienu na akasa na ode adesede ato Dr. Patrick Kumabwaje ene ne mpanyimfo anim se omo wayare sabia enso akade ene eniema ebeboa ma agina ne ebi ni ho na daroma onhwe wo
hospital there aboy wa hafrapa is a part of Western region asafo ene babia ni area wo nyina kan ha no nyina ba hospital even ahafo ano and they were quite half one education to read Tepaman class who consume area who no ba hospital. If your man penny that or man penny that or tears this year, Iraqofo, and the papa crab at Drabun, she has at Tepa area. Papa area, Kromani at number 2 year. It was man penny bedia kunyai. Then you want to try a secret of Kroma, Iraqofo, never papa area at number 2 year, no apado Tepa Bonsuas. It is hidden hospital there. Abua ya wa afra never fan say krobie nyini no na eko aduan kwantanya St. John asafo woso munya omuso de eti we de director wa ba ya so wa wudie mu de eje mu say mission hospital mo bia de babo bia no na de Abua hospital no na apaja ze ukọ a wo hwe normal administrator no mo aye no wo a sebe wo free head here Mayin kum na de so am stress senya politics pa na sabi o sabi Mr. Kampam Chow dun bi ese Ghana ka kroma de de anzan ke twa won san ka nursing school kran ke bi ma ha e say kura hospital di ka ba mu wa hafo ni e betwa suku agyae wa ha na sabi wo hwe me bonkum so a Krubo school or nursing school, Pimini François, Krubo nursing school. At the end of the day, center, I have for Hana Hospital Dika by Nankina nursing school and I in your school.
Best say, so hey, Sabea, Benya, I never quarter high and say, Tambia, Upusini Paso Bar Hafua. Yeah, now I as a Nancy and made the doctors for 2 neighbor. Ubia accommodation the best sense na Jamaica no e bapa mumbwa na intimi nya baby e momon set say no na ya dia timi manipa no ba okwa onpose besa baby na ombra no na say ya gina wa ba tu ha nya baby amana tsa ya dia eboboa nti ya dia best nti da mas
Nananmu himfune abahima wonmo enkranza edi adesedie ato aban anim se eba no bambo ho nsem a omode ne wo fom pa enka wo mo sese ebeyi a wo ma bambofo emme wo mo esanse bambo ho nsem ti no omanfo ni nyina enkwa edesen mo
Openyina wono ene gina nananom na mu kasa ye ene nana ifa adomako otosumienu ne kasa ye mu no ena wo kire mu a ne kofa ba ye ma Brante Albert Donko enche yibia aposifo ede beto monten so se osusu se kronobo bi akoso mpotem ho no mo nim ho bi ne sai suntu no che no ede ne koso kokototo na no na hwe hu no se no kura Brante no nimu bia afie ko wi akira a Brante no akwakubu e wa aposifo akache ene na matima mufu bufu ya aposifo won kranso bia sesa ne niema ebu na ketemu edifiri honom na na kire mu a ne no nka won won kransa na nkefo won ho ban esansa ponkyere ni nkodi ne maku ema okotere nkote ho fifiri enu ntini sa aposifo na sesa won niema afiri ho na sa IGP unka bibia mfa ho ne besi ne oposi ni bia ni honom na kamia ko se won won kransa no mpo no enya de won ho asem ehia wo ni size ntino de to so nanim so man nto Ghana man panyanim na afi IGP o ma aposifo mbra ho na won kransa won so nya ho bambo
ya say ya tutu ye police station nyina mu na minim say ya ban so asede say oboy ho ban na say ya ban asede so oboy ho ban ni atutu police station mu na ho bambo no ewen enti e basrew na de ato ban nim say nkwansa ye hia ho bambo na ya ban na sɛdeɛ so ɔbɔ ɛho ban sɛbe ɛbɛyɛ den bɛyɛ nwanwa sɛ ɛnkwasa asɛmasi ya ne yɛ sɛ ɔgye sɛ ɔkɔ tɛkyiman ɛna wakɔ report na sɛ saa berɛ no sɛ ebia mefiri me fie no mɛtumi anante aba police station a mewura tɛkyiman so mɛtumi anante akɔ mɛtumi nante nkɔ ɔhunu na bɛyɛ den bɛyɛ nwanwa sɛ sɛbeɛ so sɛbeɛ nyama kitere akɔdi ne mako na aponkyerɛni ɛkɔ wuhu na no ɛne sɛn asɛm deɛ deɛ anim ne fare baayɛ ne anim sɛ apolisifoɔ ho bɔ mu na apolisifoɔ ho bɔ mu a afei deɛ nkwansafoɔ ɛna yɛde asotwe ɛbɛto yɛ so na adeɛ mu ɔya nti ɛsrɛw wo ne aban nkasa na wɔne ne polisi pani ɛnkasa na ho bambɔ no ɔmo mfa mmerɛ yɛn
na naka sa akyire no ɔsoafoɔ no nso ɛde to n'anim sɛ watena so pam nsɛm a ɔde ato n'anim nyinaa no na afei agye pin so aso ate na anamo bi ɔso tu fa ho na amanfoɔ nkransa nso nya ahobambɔ no watu ɛde afa ho na ɛnam sɛ asɛm baako ɛmfa bɛma nantenti no ɔsa de to n'anim sɛ see something a mpanyinfoɔ apa ho ntoma no onyina no wɔnsom na wɔn boa no ahyeɛ so ɔman Ghana yɛntumi bɔ ho ba ne nipa bɔnefoɔ a terrorist a wahyɛ ahyɛ wɔto hyɛ nkɔfoɔ so wɔ wɔn ama mu no yɛbɛtumi abɔ yɛn ho ban afiri ho
sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ yɛtu amnamɔn na yɛkɔ ɔman panin hɔ koraa yɛbɛyɛ saa na policefoɔ a yɛfa wɔn afiri ha no yɛtumi arestore because ɛyɛ right a ɛyɛ sɛ yɛwɔ gyidie sɛ ɛyɛ aban yɛn yɛdwuma sɛ ɛyɛ sɛ yɛbɔ amanfoɔ the citizens yɛ protect wɔn nti yɛbɛtu ho anamɔn ɛnkyɛ pii mobɛte yɛn ka sɛ ɛba security a shared responsibility. Say terrorist threats imminent. We share Burkina Faso Yesroha. We share Togo and Burkina Faso. Idea it can happen to Ghana at any time, at any point. A real target, ne say on Omunya access to the coast. Omunya access to your mineral resources. Omania brepa. Tien so say break. Peace is priceless. Untumin top peace.
Across Senior High Technical School, ewo Lower Menya, ewo Epwe Mantam no emo. Na suku dai no edi mfinsia eduokron enwotwe 98-year-old classroom. Say akokra, sengo ntimi nante. Enkoyie kra adesua fonda so time esua de na awowo ene ye nyankyere sori a eho ene wo mu egu
asuafo a wowo akuro Senior High Technical School a ewo Lower Menya Krobo mansi no mu wapue manta mu no won UTV nsentwerofo kasa a wokyere mu se school ni technical school de nanso emfiri anase niam e be kyere se school ni technical school no bi ni ho na ne awosua fa technical ho ye book mu niam ya eya atworotworo ne akenkan ya na emom mfiri a wobesom ebe ma ongatenka se woresua biribia fa technical ho no e bi ni ho.
As a prefect of the school, I'm not happy about the condition in which we the students we are, because the situation in which we are in will not help us in our academics. Sure. But we are here to learn as well. And then as a student, we need a good facility which we can be comfortable and then steady with a sound mind. But here by the case, our infrastructures are not good. Even classrooms, dining hall, our libraries, ICT lab and other things we don't even have. I cannot say inadequate. If we lack facilities in the school. That's the major problem that we have. Even furniture that we sit on is a problem to us. Two people share one furniture, which is not even good. Sometimes we even kill snakes in the classrooms, especially in our girls' dormitory, boys' dormitory. They came to cover the boys, go there, kill snakes. And even in the classrooms, when it is even raining, we cannot sit in the classroom. We have to close the students for them to go home or even pack themselves into one classroom, which is not comfortable for us.
Any dining hall to say yes structure yeah assembly hall yeah wo and one year come sorry and 1 year didi mo and 1 year more entertainment just say this structure na dey e wo ma bibibia ye wo school we akwa juniors first years no omo didi wie ansa na seniors aba didi and no nya fair ebi wa preps say ye ba preps and you me preps na say was ye didi a agi juniors didi ansa na seniors abedidi and no sa no sa time ne for preps a yentime nko classrooms in term kosua because the seniors are late for dining. They are not able to eat early. So it's a difficult problem.
Onunyafo Robert Tetefio oye old student onukuri yara sanye head of asset to presidency no bae behwe suku yi ohawa wokum a ono gina na namu niema bia mmofra nso hia no ode ka homa wonga okire mu dia de serede to abangani mu se osere nara omomode anom beko suku yi mwa na tebia wo mu no ano ye den pa
Edina manhene nana kwadwo kondua a otoso ensia edi adesre atoso afo hwa akwan ni akwantempon nsem so anim se osre nara bridge anase ensamso bi wo ho a eka empotamu mienu bi tise amisa no ene afofra ewo nyina ebom asai onhwe ensiesie ema
Edina hene eye nana kwadwo kondua wotoso nsia nana de ato aban no na Afia so ye a ehwe akwan ni akwantempon sem so dwumadie ensem anim se wo mo hwe no mo nsam so eno no eka abi enafe emisano ebomu ewo komenda edena egwafo ebre momansi kopo assembly ni mu no wo momra meye mfa momu na wo chese ensu a etoye no anamso amane adan ahodo be sa hanum 500 ye chese ne nyina condemn to grebu na wo de to wo manfo wo masisi adan ewo ensu akwan so na afen so afuro mu se wo munyai se ne be ye ensu no kokoto kese a enkwose we japade na asanso akwakofa okra e de afiri wonsa wo de to eye asoye a wo no hwe adisuansem so ena afen so adwumekọ hwe adisuansem so anim se wo mu hia books ena afen school uniforms sisanse ensuo ne toye no asesa ne oma ne nyina wo de to ahemfo ahodo so anim se e bia na omanfo ba bia na ebi mwasi wo madan no ewosua kwan so ensuo ne toye no ase wo madan ahodo ne nyina wo se nke be ya nka wo ma asafo ne nsase ene wo de che wo mu a ne nka wo mu so apɛ ba bia kwakɔbɔ mu ho adwa
a man ka tɛ na mu kwam laba awan so mɔbɔ ya na cement na ze amayetum ya da mahwan ma wada shase nkaka akra na roofing sheet ano so ya da yehia pa wa wani aba yan villages ya wada ni city da ya tete pa na ya hwan how roofing sheet bunda we sida no so wuntum ntoroba na wada akata dinti ya basra hwan no so ambra wombɔ yan roofing sheet papa
abankra chipani e de ma commander e de na egwafo ebrim wo de ensema
ya bobu na mezi kana aka NDC full MPP full PPP full na political party ya be yenhiem osanda yenya ya pada ya fa kwankodo since ya start ye buda na ambajo nda me mo MPP mo PPP mo CPP into we buda na ya collective decision ododa aza ya be
yeni omanfo ebi nso ekasa mo mo kire se aban adawuru mawo wo mo ewa hohiahia mu pa enti brei ne bra be ye wo mo adom
bebre wa say ye mo from position wonu school ko wonu books wo school ental ye wo school entalimpo school atara si awade be no bu ye na ko 1 year 30 Ghana e wo ma for wa ti de to be school atabe 5 million 6 year pamina 5 million ye pa me wan cha Afia na wade be ye pa me wan cha so abe fanya manina de ko mo fo wo school atal si ta mo fo wo ko school wunye school atal wan se wonon pa bo na adi nyina le books sisi ya le brebo fancy ya sraban abana mo hu ya mobile no mbo he na ayedam da sisi ya mo fro won po wa asena obeba
security wona wo den ofiku mu a wana kaka wo sema o wechiri na amaboy na incident no sisi ayen live items the persistent one iron sheet cement ni zaman ko ba na ye ya
Kasiei efi United Television so ship house Abeka Junction enkran yentum kra eba bongo di fara e de ebeko agoprama so ensem emu